Recording.
Provorov across. Gostisbehere takes a look. The shot. Save rebound. Simmons, he scores! Here's Couturier with a step. The shot. Save rebound. Voracek, he scores! Shen to knock the puck away. Burrows could not clear. Gostisbehere digs it off the wall. To Shen to the slot. He holds. He fires. Score! Edler back. Rips it ahead. To the line it goes. Hansen one last shot. He fans on it. It's over. And the Flyers have salvaged the final game of their Western Canadian swing. They hang on.
Now, Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly Hockey Guys.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Some upbeat music to get us started this week.
Yeah, because we need something positive, so a song will probably do it because...
Hey, they got to win. They got to win.
Whoa. Congratulations.
They got to win and actually fell further in the playoff race.
All right. That's something to get excited about. That is playing boldly. Ugh. Oh, boy. Well, welcome to another episode of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast. I'm Andy Robb.
I'm Ken Prell. This is episode 57.
101.
Oh, 101. That's right. I forgot we
had
made
episode 100 last week.
Yeah. So
We
this
were
is amazing.
Breaking down barriers, smashing records. Thanks for tuning in no matter where you're listening from. We certainly do appreciate it. All right, let's yeah.
Last week we did an episode. Flyers were heading into a big 3-game road trip. Basically needed to sweep and get all those points. Well, they go ahead.
That didn't happen.
They stink up the joint in Calgary. And in Edmonton, that Edmonton game was really bad. But then, give them a little credit. They came out and they played tough against Vancouver, got out to a 3-0 lead, and then did everything they could possibly do to try to lose that game.
Brandon Manning is such a wash. He was supposed to be a generational talent, better than McDavid. And wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
He tried. He dropped the gloves.
Oh, well, I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh, yeah,
I just mean his presence on the ice should be enough. To skyrocket this team, you know? Like, man.
But, yeah, no, a disappointing road trip. They get the 2 points.
Real disappointed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, a little bit there, Davey boy.
So the Flyers now 28, 24, and 7 on the season, 63 points, the 11th seed right now.
Yeah, a little bit on the outside looking in there.
Boston, Toronto, Florida, the Islanders. All ahead of them right now.
Florida's been playing great as of lately, though.
Compared to what the Flyers are doing?
No, I mean just in general. They've been playing really well lately.
Yeah, no. It's just
Jágr just turned 45 and scored 2 goals in that one game? Good for him.
Yeah, it's a good thing we let him go a few years back.
Yeah, it was really a good thing that we were
Flyers really couldn't use him.
Tying up all that money into offer sheets for Shea Weber and stuff like that. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, that's something that's already been said 100 times because you know how it is with us and Jágr. But yes,
definitely discussed it.
Definitely made a discernible difference. But either way, yeah, Florida's been playing some pretty solid hockey right now. The Islanders, their own town doesn't even want them, and they're playing better hockey.
Yeah, they've only got another year left in Brooklyn before they need to find another home.
Oh my God. I don't know, man.
It's going to be it's going to be a really big uphill battle for this team to get back really into the playoff race. And then if you get into that 8th seed, you're going to run into the Capitals again, probably in the first round. And again, you'll make it 5 or 6 games. And
yeah, you don't see yourself getting out of the first round. And let's hope that they don't have any free wristband nights planned on that if that happens again, because we don't need to go through that again.
Well, I mean, I guess it really brings us to the point of this week's show is the trade deadline. It's a week away.
Yes.
And Flyers have to be sellers at this point, right?
Boy. We kind of mentioned that this last road trip, might answer some of those questions on what the Flyers should be doing, what their decision down the road as they get closer to the deadline is, and it doesn't look like they really did a whole lot. So are you saying, when you ask that, are you saying that you want them to be sellers, or you're assuming they're going to be sellers?
I mean, they have to be sellers at this point.
You think?
I mean, again, you're in the 11th spot right now. Are you going to give up any of the young talent to go out and get somebody who could possibly make a difference? And if there is, who is that player out there that can make a difference to this team right now?
Well, as we all know, we already can write off one for a trade deadline or for sellers. The old Kentucky Colonel will be coming for Dale Weiss, as we talked about in the last episode.
Is his agent around? Can we find?
Can we convince him and maybe take in a few more? Oh my God, we have a new
bell in here.
We have a new toy in the studio.
It says "Ring for Pizza."
I don't see any pizza.
No.
Jeez Louise.
You never know what you're going to find in the studio.
You really don't. It's always something. It's always an adventure. So
no. Yeah, I think the Flyers have got to be sellers at this point.
See what you can get in return. Definitely.
And we talked a lot about it, kind of last week.
About, I know where this is going.
About the captain, about Giroux. We even got some comments on Twitter.
Some questions on Twitter. Okay, well, what kind of questions?
Yeah, Big Country weighed in. At Yeti619 says, a lot of talk about trading G last podcast. What return do you honestly get for him? A first, solid NHL players? Great questions.
Austin Matthews.
If we can pull that off, absolutely. Let's do it right now. Yeah, no. But no, I mean, I know we talked a lot about it last week. I don't think G gets traded at the trade deadline.
No.
I think what happens is if there's any possibility of him getting traded, it's going to happen over the summer in the off season, because I think you got to see how the rest of this season plays out. If the Flyers continue on this downward spiral and miss the playoffs, Hextall's really got to think about moving, if not G, then moving one of the other pieces, a Shen, a Voracek, a Couturier, somebody like that.
Oh, I was hovering my hand over the shut up button just because I thought you were going to say Wayne Simmons.
Look, if you're really looking to get something and real value in return, is there anybody who's off limits?
Yes. Wayne Simmons, Provorov.
You know what? Right before we jumped in here, I was showing you on Facebook the NBC Sports page, and they're promoting, of course, the Stadium Series game this Saturday night. And the two faces prominent right on the front page there is, of course, Sidney Crosby and Wayne Simmons, not Claude Giroux.
Huh.
So Simmons has basically become now the new face of the Flyers.
Well, I don't know so much about that, but
you don't think so?
Well, I mean,
he's coming off of an All-Star game weekend where he's the MVP of the All-Star game.
He got a free Honda,
and so right now, you look at the Flyers. Who is their best player right now?
Dale Weiss.
Yeah, well, besides
Boyd
Dale
Gordon.
Weiss. Is Boyd Gordon still on the team?
I don't know. If you ask Siri would be like, "Who the hell is Boyd Gordon?" Not even I know, human.
But no, I think Simmons is the face of the Flyers right now. You look at Giroux, the numbers have steadily fallen off over these last 4 years. You go back to 2011, 2012, he had 93 points, 86 points in 2013-14.
Is it the curse of him making the NHL cover?
Then I don't believe in any of that stuff, but there's no denying that his play has fallen off, and I'm really just tired.
His play's dropped off since we traded Jágr?
Well, yeah, I would say, there's some of that if you want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of hearing the excuses of, either, he's not 100% healthy right now, he's hurt, he doesn't have enough talent around him, maybe Hackstall's system doesn't fit him anymore. I don't know what you would get in return. Again, he makes over $8 million a year, so you're going to have to match up with some salary cap stuff.
That could be the hugest splash trade of the whole draft this year.
Everything that's coming out, Eklund and Panaccio have come out and basically
two trustworthy sources.
Well, they're kind of on the inside a little bit, right?
I guess.
But both basically reported the same thing over the last couple of days, that, Hextall still sees, that he's only 29, good mentor to guys like Konechny and Cousins and Wheel, and believes that Giroux can kind of recapture some of the offense that has gone away over these last couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see.
I like to share his sense of optimism. I'm not going to completely write the guy off yet, but...
So that's just me then.
No, not at all. I'm just saying, like, I agree with what Hextall's saying right now.
Yeah, our buddy Nick also weighed in. He said, crazy trade ideas. G to the Habs for a first and a player. No?
No, I just don't want him playing for Montreal.
All right, how about this one?
Christ.
Our fourth line for a flyer-shaped pretzel.
No,
I like that trade by Nick. I'm doing it.
You would have to throw in a second pretzel because you're factoring Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, and I don't want him gone, so that's going to cost you 2 pretzels.
2 pretzels. All right, so there we go. So so there's some comments from Twitter for us.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not good with these kind of trade predictions or anything because it's like you never know. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a little less pressure now, or a little less nerve-wracking that Holmgren isn't running the show and always on the phone on trade deadline day. I mean, I still think that this team is probably going to not make too many moves at the deadline unless if the attractive enough offer comes around. I mean, we've speculated about this for 2 years now. Oh, they're going to do something at this trade deadline. Nothing happens. They're going to do something at this trade deadline. Nothing happens.
But when do you get to the point where you have to do something? Because this core, this group of guys, at best, are an 8th seed.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm all for, patience. God, I hate it, but I'm all for it. I understand you got a bunch of young guys getting ready to come up, and hopefully they can step up, next year. But I just don't know if this core that we've been riding with the last few seasons is all that good.
I reluctantly agree.
And I'm not saying you have to make a big splash over the next
you
week,
don't have to...
but I think one guy you have to keep an eye on is Del Zotto. Healthy scratch tonight.
Oh, yeah, in favor of McDonald.
But Del Zotto, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Right now makes a little less than $4 million per year. Is probably going to want a lot more than that coming up this summer. So I think if you can get something decent in return, either some picks or a prospect, I think Del Zotto could be a guy that gets moved in the next week.
What about Schultz? Schultz is another scratch for tonight as well.
Yeah, he's another guy. I'm not sure what you're going to get back in return for Schultz. I think if you're looking at somebody else as another unrestricted free agent this summer is Streiton. We've talked about this over the last
on the last episode of the show.
So, and I think he would be a great veteran presence, a good guy to bring into any contending team's locker room,
except for the Penguins.
Well, yeah, I don't think the Flyers are going to make any deal with the Penguins, but again, I think he's another guy that can maybe get you maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yeah,
or if you want more, you may have to eat a little bit of his salary, which is maybe not the worst idea, considering he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one move, for a veteran defenseman, alternate captain. That's one move that, I won't completely dismiss out of the realm of possibility. Because, again, this is the second podcast that we've talked about that.
But
we've
look,
talked about the potential of that happening.
You're talking about unrestricted free agents. I mean, there's no reason really to bring Streit or Del Zotto back or even Schultz back next year.
I'd like to see Del Zotto back.
Do you really need Del Zotto back? Do you really need to spend over $4 million, maybe $5 million a year to keep him when you have guys like Haig, Morin, Sanheim? I mean, hopefully those guys are ready to make the jump next year.
Yeah.
At least 2 of the 3, you would hope. Mm-hmm. You're looking at, Ghost, who, found a little swagger back in Vancouver, had 3 points. First time in his career he's been able to do that.
Yeah, that was a nice showing by him as well.
And Provorov's probably been your best defenseman all year.
Boy.
At 19. So, next year you may be going really young in the defensive end, but isn't that why you brought in Hackstall as your coach?
Yeah, I think that's why.
I mean, he's supposed to be able to work with the young guys. Now, again, we talked about it last week that some questionable moves, by sitting a Konechny at times and sitting Ghost. But, that's kind of why you brought him here, because he's used to working with young guys. So I'm all for the youth movement, especially if this team's not going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then why not get these guys some NHL experience? Well, what do I do?
Yeah.
I'm just a fan. A frustrated fan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they find themselves in a strange situation. One that it's almost it's almost hard to speculate about because it seems like they're in a tougher position than they were last year at this time of year.
Well, remember, I mean, last year started off very poorly, and then they kind of they got the ball rolling a little bit. And,
Right.
and by this time last year, they were starting to make the run. They were playing better. They seemed to buy into what Hackstall was selling. They bought into that system, and they played, and they really started playing really well. And we thought that carried over to this year during that 10-game winning streak, but whatever's happened since then, I mean, I don't know if it's injuries, if it's just tuning the coach out. I'm not really sure, but you've gone through Laviolette, you've gone through Berube, and now these guys are kind of playing the same way for Hackstall. At what point do you think, all right, maybe it's not the coaching, maybe it's the players at this point? And that's where I think I'm at right now, because it's the same problems no matter who the coach is. Slow starts, disappearing for periods at a time.
Yeah.
Terrible defense in front. This team can only, on 5-on-5, it's like they're not even playing hockey. They can only score on the power play. I mean, even for as good as Simmons has been this year, where have all his goals, most of his goals come from?
Yeah.
The power play.
Right.
Shen can't score 5-on-5. He can only score on the power play. So,
well, he already got his pony, so
yeah. I mean,
what does it matter?
And then I don't want to rip on Hextall too much because I think he's doing a good job in building this team. But he's the one that has given out these contracts to guys like Couturier, the Voracek deal he did, which we thought was great at the time. But he certainly hasn't lived up to that contract that he got.
Yeah.
Shen, just got the contract before this season. Did he put his faith in all these guys?
Well, I mean, it's tough to say because, we're not Ron Hextall, but it's kind of in some ways, I hate to say it looks that way, but in a way,
but
it kind of does.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Hextall, for the most part, in the Philadelphia Press and on Sports Talk Radio, kind of gets a free pass. You listen to Sports Talk Radio right now, I mean, Howie Roseman gets killed. Brian Colangelo right now, with the Sixers and their trade deadline coming up, is getting killed if he doesn't move Okafor. I mean, but you don't hear anything really ever negative about Hextall. I think everybody buys in and, thinks they're on the right track, but are they?
Yes and no. I don't know. I mean, it's a loaded question. There's a lot of things to consider when you ask a question like that. It can't just be a yes or no answer. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, it goes back to what I just said like 3 minutes ago. It's a very strange predicament for this team and for this organization as a whole to be in, and I think it's more of a difficult scenario than it was last year for them.
And I mean, I don't, envy Hextall at all. I mean, you got all these young guys in the minors and especially all these defensemen that other teams probably make an offer for. But, what are the chances all of these guys pan out?
100% chance.
I wish that was the case. But in reality, that's not.
All right, 99%.
There's also that little bit, okay, so if I trade Sanheim.
Oh.
All right, I trade Haig.
Okay, all right.
But what if he, develops and becomes a great blue liner? It's just
that's the risk you're willing to take. I mean, that's how it goes.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you get back in return. That's why I don't think. Yeah, that's why I don't think the Flyers will be buyers by this time next week.
No,
I think they're sellers, and if any of these guys get moved again, I think you'll see it during the summertime, preferably around the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Because you're right. You don't know what to expect. I mean, hell, we're just sitting here waiting for the other shoe to fall. Something could happen by the trade deadline. You don't know.
Yeah. Well, especially, you got the Capitals tonight, national televised game on NBCSN, 8 o'clock start time, rivalry night.
Ooh, the night you love to hate.
So, if they lose this game, and then you go into the Stadium Series.
Oh, God.
That's Saturday night.
Oh, God, that's going to be terrible.
And depending on how they play in that game, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they sweep these two games. And, they're right back into that kind of playoff race in that around that eighth spot. But if they lose both of these games.
Boy, I'm worried about that Stadium Series game.
Well, yeah, especially because we're located here in central Pennsylvania, surrounded by
I don't care about
quote-unquote
that.
Penguins fans.
I don't care about
Yeah.
that. I just think that, it's the first time I've really been rattled before we play a game against the Penguins, because it's like they've been playing. I hate to give credit where it's due. They've been playing really well. Crosby just got his 1,000th point. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know about this game coming up this weekend. Ugh. I wouldn't want to spend $300 on a ticket to go there. That's for sure. I would not want to be going there to see it in person. Just because I don't know what to expect.
And I guess the weather's going to be a little dicey, possibly, too.
Maybe. Good. Rain it out.
Yeah.
Who cares? Make it more entertaining.
That's exactly what NBC wants to hear.
Hey, what can you do? What can you do? I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, they got to turn it on, but, how many times are we going to say that? I say it again, and I'm getting pissed off.
Well,
I'm tired of it. It's like when Drew's like, I got to be better. Oh, we got to do a better job. That's like the motto in Philadelphia next to better luck next year.
Well,
I'm
that's
getting
what it is.
sick of saying it on every podcast. I'm like, we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm tired of it.
Not only sick and saying it on every podcast, but saying about every team in Philadelphia.
For
rebuild
for 30 seconds, I forgot that the Eagles were still a thing. So thanks for reminding me.
Free agency's right around the corner.
Oh, boy.
Hey, the Eagles could re-sign Deshaun Jackson. Macklin may be out there now. McCoy. Bring the whole gang back together. All of Howie's boys.
Bring back Howie's boys. Can't be worse than Aguilar.
Hey, Nelly was working out with Carson Wentz last week, so those guys are building something.
Nelly?
Yeah.
The rapper?
Well, yeah. I think I'd rather have Nelly the rapper as a wide receiver than Aguilar.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Why not? Couldn't be any worse, right?
Nah. Might even be better.
So this could be some really exciting times for Philadelphia sports over the next week with the NBA trade deadline tomorrow, NHL trade deadline next week, and then free agency starts.
Oh, yeah.
For the NFL.
Exciting.
And the Phillies.
Nerve-wracking, more like it. Yeah, didn't they already have a pitcher that got injured? That's good.
Yeah, but hey, Matt Stairs is the new hitting coach.
In case of emergency, use Stairs. Oh, Christ. I don't know, man. It's like, again, guys, you've been listening to the show for a while, and it's like we're going to be like, oh, well, I think, we're just going to have to wait and see. And it's like this time, like right now, it just like snapped in my brain, like live. I'm just like, I'm really sick of saying that. I'm sick of hearing myself saying it. It's like, we don't get paid like millions of dollars. We spend time out of our schedules to make this show.
I'm swimming in it over here like Scrooge McDuck.
DuckTales, woo! Usually I'm the one that's falling off the rails. What is wrong with you today? Are we switching? Is this like a Freaky Friday type thing? All right,
the bell's
you need to stop with the bell. I'm actually going to lay down the law this time. I'm done. No, seriously though. Like,
I'm just trying to cheer you up a little bit.
You know what would cheer me up? If the people that got paid millions of dollars to be professional athletes in Philadelphia actually, did something.
Hey, at the takeover coming up in a couple weeks, there will be your opportunity to show off your skills. And who knows? Maybe Hextall will be watching. Holmgren will be watching. He'll be like, we got to sign that guy.
Do you think?
Sure, why not?
I'm gonna make sure to wear my Cooperalls. That's gonna be interesting. Speaking of which, my back is feeling better too. I'm gonna go ice skating this weekend.
You'll be in traction on Monday.
I'm gonna hit the rink again. I haven't skated in a while. I got to get my legs back, and I've got to start practicing. I've got to get ready.
I can't wait to see this.
What? Me playing hockey?
Yep.
You're not gonna miss much.
Oh, no, I'm just waiting for somebody, because a couple bounties out there.
Are we initiating the bounty program?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's going to be our version of the Bounty Bowl.
Kill Andy and get a free sticker.
We do have a bunch of stickers left.
And we just might be bringing a whole lot of Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Ron Hextall's favorite. You don't have to be sweet to be good with Canada Dry Ginger Ale. We should get Canada Dry Ginger Ale cans with the Philly Hockey Guys stickers on it and give out little treat bags.
For the tailgate before the game, I think that'd be perfect.
Be like, hey, man, you want to bong one of these beers? And be like, nah, I want to bong this delicious, crisp Canada Dry ginger ale.
And what's this sticker on the can?
It says Philly Hockey Guys. We're gonna bring some stickers down.
Our miniature stickers that we ordered by accident.
That you ordered.
I think you placed that order. I don't recall placing that order at all.
No. You're wrong about that. You're like, hey, our stickers finally got in, but they were so cheap. And then I pull it out, and it's just a sheet of these little tiny Philly Hockey Guy stickers.
They're
I'm
like smaller than a stamp.
Well, maybe that's why. I thought I grew overnight, I got gigantism like Ken Griffey Jr. on The Simpsons.
Speaking of which, it's going into the Hall of Fame, that episode.
The Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yeah, we did see that.
Honoring the 25th anniversary of that episode, Homer at the Bat.
25 years. Can you believe that? You know what really just drives me crazy about that? The whole concept of that. It's been 25 years and Mattingly still has not trimmed his sideburns.
Good stuff.
I'm going to bring, that's what I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring Wonder Stick with me. I made my own, I have a homemade hockey stick that I made out of a tree. Hey, what is that? A homemade bat? Something even better. A homemade bat. No, seriously, though, the Wells Fargo Center takeover, that's going to be, that'll be a good time.
Yep, just a few weeks away. Can't wait.
Could be an elaborate ruse for everyone from our Flyers just to jump us.
Yeah.
Take our Canada Dry.
If we don't show up with Canada Dry, people are going to
Oh, we're going to show up with it, buddy. We're going to. We should make some...
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting a little hand sanitizer. Because this keyboard's disgusting.
It's in a cup. Purell, do not eat.
I have to put little reminders on it.
That's what the cup says. Do not eat. Why?
Smells like vodka.
Why? Why is this a thing?
Don't ask me. It was in here when we came in.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm all for not spreading germs, but having to put on there, do not eat.
Now, we work with some interesting people. That's why these people are in radio. Not firing on all cylinders.
All right, well, we haven't talked hockey in about 10 minutes now, so I guess that's pretty much it for the show.
No,
I mean, you got the Capitals tonight.
I mean, what? But
any chance they win this game?
Yeah. There's always a chance, but I don't know. I mean, it could be a tough one. I mean, these Wednesday night, these NBCSN games against the Caps, it seems to always just be some kind of Flyers kryptonite for them. You ever notice that? There just seems to be this trend that every time.
It's always a tough game.
I don't know. I can see them winning, but you got to show up for a full 60 minutes. Big. I don't know. What do you? We're not coaches. I don't know. Just win the goddamn game. I'm tired of this, dude. It just pisses me off. Just why? Why do we have to have it like this? Why is Pittsburgh contending for cups? And it's we have this great core, and then just nothing.
Next week for our show, I'm going to bring in a psychiatrist.
I'm going to have a complete mental breakdown. No, don't worry. This hockey team is a fine-tuned machine. Just don't worry about it.
I don't understand the mess that was left behind.
We inherited a mess. And it's even more aggravating when we got to come in and do this. When we have to do a podcast where we know that, what they're putting out is unacceptable. We're going to start a gardening podcast, I think. We could call it Prell's Perennials.
Oh, I like it. That's nice. It's got a good ring to it. I'll order the stickers.
Make sure they're the right size. Let's talk the Stadium Series.
Do we have to?
Yes.
I like the jerseys. The Flyers jerseys, not the Penguins.
Oh, God, they look like a bottle of mustard. Realistically, though, do you think that this might be a game that might provide that spark? Playing the Penguins? Their records in outdoor games, though, they suck, the Flyers.
Have they won an outdoor game?
No, I don't believe so. They lost the one Winter Classic against the Bruins, and then they lost against the Rangers.
That's right, yeah. So hey, look at it this way. They're due to win one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So there we go. So, yeah, no, I'm still excited about it. It's always a cool atmosphere to see. You're right. If they can win this game and maybe do it in a fashion where, they beat up the Penguins a little bit, especially on a national televised game. This is an NBC game. Mm-hmm. It could be the spark. That could is all capital letters.
That's what I'm talking about. There used to be this just resounding confidence. You're like, oh, we're playing the Penguins. Well, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
Man. They are gone.
I mean, it doesn't help that the Penguins are playing really good hockey either.
That's another reason.
Yeah.
So coming next week, we'll have more, for the trade deadline.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how everything.
We got to see how the rest of this week plays out. Honestly, I mean, after the Stadium Series, you might have more of an idea about what moves can come, and hopefully, we'll be talking to 10 Philly fan. We got to get that going about the second Wells Fargo Center takeover, which of course we're going to be there doing a show.
Yep.
In some capacity.
And, get his thoughts on where the season's going right now as well. So, yeah.
I mean, I can pretty much tell you. I hate it! Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah,
heading out to the Stadium Series this weekend. Enjoy that.
Yeah, for as much fun as you can have going to Pittsburgh. Enjoy your coleslaw and French fries on a sandwich.
Ugh.
It's freaking disgusting.
Who does that?
I still think it's so bizarre.
It is.
I don't get it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. So tonight, I think this game is a must-win. You're playing two metropolitan rivals. These are games that you really, really have to show up for.
Well, you have to get these points because, like I said earlier, you're behind Boston, Toronto, Florida, the Islanders, and all those teams have games in hand. If you're not getting points out of these games, you're toast.
Yeah.
They need a strong effort in these next two games, and if not, then sell.
Yeah, I'm certainly not writing things off for the rest of this year, but it's like
by this time next week we might.
Yeah, we might have everything's going okay, things are looking up, or we might have a fire sale show. I don't know.
Either way, we'll be back and we'll have fun. We always have fun, right? Where's that bell?
Fine, here.
Hey!
I don't even know. This thing's a piece of crap. Why is this here?
All right. So we'll be back next week. Let's wrap this one up for Andy, Rob.
Enjoy the game as much as you can.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it'll surprise us. We are the Philly Hockey Guys. Thanks so much for listening.
Oh, Axel just said, I don't buy that. But really, seriously. Flyers do something, and I'm not just talking to Wayne Simmons, because you're good, bud.
All right.
You're doing plenty.
We'll talk to you all next week.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like the Philly Hockey Guys podcast page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy. And subscribe on iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud.